where earlier this year in March, I was diagnosed with a brain tumor on my brain stem that is inoperable through Western means. And so this has put me on this amazing path. And I say amazing because when Western medicine says, we can't do anything for you, then it put me, the healer, into the shoes of healer, heal thyself. And I'm really happy to report as of yesterday that my brain tumor has reduced by 50% in size.
Thank God. Oh,
And also, one of the things when they did the initial MRI was they were concerned about MS, multiple sclerosis, which yesterday, after three MRIs, a PET scan, a spinal tap, which, oh, that was fun, numerous blood tests. I spoke with my neurologist at the University of Utah hospital, and he said, okay, we've done all the tests we can, and 100% conclusive, you do not have MS. So, yeah, that's two things right there that by stepping into this role of using what I've been preaching for so long and so much more that I've discovered and been educating myself on since March, now I'm stepping into this new role, not just as someone healing themselves, but as a teacher who loves to help other people, has been on this path for decades, now having tools, having technologies, having wisdom that can help literally hundreds of millions of people who are facing chronic conditions like, say, cancer, Alzheimer's, heart disease, diabetes, long COVID. Anybody out there with long COVID, which there are millions and millions of people, this is incredible, Stacey. And I'm really happy to be here. Not only on your podcast, I'm happy to be here on the planet. And the level of gratitude every time I get to take a breath, it almost brings me to tears.
I I'm speechless. I am so excited for you that your brain tumor has shrunk 50%. It is so scary to have a brain tumor. And I had shared with you that, one of my family members had not as extensive like yours, but has had a brain tumor and it shrunk and it disappeared. And but it is so scary because it could affect any part of your brain. It could affect your eyesight. It could affect, it could affect, the way you operate, it could MS, everything. It could do so many things to your body. And I'm so happy that it has shrunk 50%. It's amazing because there's so many people out there that have, scary stories and they're looking for ways to really, find ways to help cure themselves. I knew somebody who was suffering from cancer and it was pancreatic cancer, but the tumor was in an area where they could not operate. They could not do anything. And, that person lived longer than the expected years, but they didn't know about the different types of therapies that you provide. And, they lived a very, longer than expected life, but they didn't have the tools that you provide. And, I really, really would love for you to share about the frequencies and about the different things that you've done in your life to help you and others because people need that in their lives. They don't realize how powerful it is, because have been so, consumed with Western medicine that they don't know that there are other ways and other technologies, like the work that we do that could actually help cure people and help people, release a lot of the things that they need to release in order to become healthy and overcome different types of illnesses.
Yeah, absolutely. And, there is all props to Western medicine for what they are very good at. If I break my leg, I'm not looking for acupuncture at that point. I'm looking for maybe bone cement, put in a rod, put a cast on me, immobilize it, control the bleeding right now, because that, emergent medicine, our system is amazing. But when it comes to chronic conditions, and I've talked with many doctors, they're like, we really suck at treating chronic conditions. it's a Band-Aid. It's just trying to mask the symptoms and let the body heal itself and hopefully get the body into a place where it can heal itself. And what I've found, Stacey, is that that's that's good. However, if you have a scab, let's say you cut yourself and it starts to
Yeah.
heal up, or as our body wants to heal. Our body wants to heal, but you
Yes.
keep scratching it. Every time it starts to heal, you keep scratching it. When we have trapped emotions, when we have things that are inherited, when we have traumas, when we have things that are unresolved on, say, the mental level or the emotional or etheric or astral or spiritual, whether you believe it or not, anybody out there, it doesn't mean it's not real. You
Yeah.
can you can say water is dry. That's fine. You can believe that all you want. It doesn't mean water is dry. So
Yeah.
I think it's important for us to have an open mind about what is actually real, what is possible. Why did this happen? Where did it come from? How do I correct that so that I stop scratching my wound while I try to heal? And
Yeah.
that's what I do. I have a brand new program, which it's called Ascended Living. And this is the first of its kind. And we're going to talk today about the new frequency technologies that are incorporated into Ascended Living. But part of the Ascended Living program, which everybody can scan this QR code, you can go and just check that, put it, bookmark it on your site, take a look later, because we have an absolute pandemic across the entire world of chronic disease.
Yeah.
People are the most unhealthy they've ever been.
Hmm.
I mean, think about it. We have 38% of kids between age 10 and age, I think it's age, what's it? I think I'm
Yeah.
open to being wrong about this, like 6 and 17 years old, 38% that are diabetic or pre-diabetic. That's
Yes.
not right.
No.
That's just diabetes. But how about all these terrible cancers caused by the mRNA vaccine that now the World Health Organization is coming out and saying, the National Institute of Health has got,
Yeah.
Pfizer just got hit with a multi-billion-dollar lawsuit that they have to pay because, so there's a whole wave of illness that is coming that we're not prepared to deal with just with the normal medical system. So, with that said, I think it's really important that people once again go back to what is real.
Yeah.
What is real that we understand through physics is that everything exists as energy,
Yeah.
right? And that we are 99.999 to nine, there's nine, five nines, I believe, percent empty space. So we perceive this as real and we perceive this as solid, but it's actually not. This is
Right.
a simulation where, and it's hard to believe when you stub your toe that that's a simulation and that's not real. Or you have a brain tumor, Nate. When the doctor tells you that, oh, it didn't feel like a video game and I'm an avatar at that point. But
Yeah.
the thing is, it's really important for people to understand is that we're here to learn. And I
Hmm.
don't really believe that we're here just to suffer. We're here to learn how to create. So if I can create a 50% reduction in my brain tumor, and let me go ahead, I'm going to share my screen so everybody can see this because I'm pretty happy about this. So as you can see here, and this is me on March 3rd, 81 pounds down by proper diet, exercise, and these new frequency technologies on September 1st. And my brain tumor went from 22 millimeters across to 10 millimeters across, all holistically. I've had no chemo, no radiation, no $20,000 a month pills. Where this is on my brain stem right here,
Yeah.
if they even tried to get in there, it would either, they said, kill me or disable me permanently.
Wow.
So I didn't have an option. And I'm a big fan of this quote: take care of your body. It's the only place you have to live.
I like that. I like that.
And it's so true. And so, in order for us to really do that, though, we have to have the right information. And honestly, I think maybe everybody out there, maybe you just like, I want more information. I'm not information overloaded at all. But in my observation, and many people I talk to, we have so much information that it's overwhelming. That's why we have the 8-second attention span, is because cat video, what's happening in Ukraine, what did Trump say now? We've got all these things that are hitting us all the time. that actually taking a second, and everybody out there, you're invited to do this, just to, if you're safe to do it, close your eyes, take a breath in. And as you exhale, ask yourself, all right, how are we actually doing inside? Breath in, exhale, ask, how are we today on every level? And just continue breathing and checking in with yourself.
Hmm.
That's the first step that people really, it's the best thing to do if you have a really hard diagnosis.
Yeah.
They come in and say you have multiple myeloma. Oh, that's not necessarily the time to go back onto YouTube and just be like, hey, everybody, that's okay. But if you don't check in with yourself first, you're then distracting yourself from what's real, or you're suppressing information or repressing it, which is subconscious. And we all do that sometimes.
Yeah.
But to actually be present is where we get our power back. And that place of full power, then going forward to address this dis-ease,
Yeah.
is the thing that's going to help us the most.
Right.
I hope that answered your question. I went off on a little bit of a tangent there, but for everybody who only caught the first part of this show, hopefully you'll come back and watch the whole thing. It's very important that your mindset is right very first, and then you can go into eating right. You can go into breath work. You can go to these new frequency technologies. You can start biohacking. But if you do it mindlessly from a place of fear instead of a place of love, a place of learning, a place of understanding, a place of presence,
Yes.
you're just going to be taking one step forward and one step back.
Exactly. Exactly. That's so true. Now, for listeners that are new to it, how do you explain the riff frequency? How does it work and what does it aim to do? Like, how are the sessions typically structured? What does it look like for responsible for safety first approach?
Yeah, well, I don't know that there are any unsafe aspects of the Rife frequencies, RIFE. This is a machine that was designed and built by a man by the name of Raymond Royal Rife back in the 1930s. And he had a 100% reversal rate using frequencies of every type of cancer that came before him. And of course, when a lot of times when things actually work, the powers that be that stand to profit off of these don't want that. So all of his machines were confiscated and
Oh,
they were destroyed, they were hidden away. His research was essentially sequestered, redacted, or who knows. At that point, everything was paper, maybe burned. But now we're coming back into this new golden age where people are having they're digging things up. I actually have a good friend of mine has one of the original Rife machines from back in the 30s that was hidden from the government when they were taking them. And we find that over and over. So these certain frequencies, he found that if you have a frequency of, say, let's say it's melanoma,
yeah.
worst cancer you can get, a certain frequency will come in there and it will actually counteract the frequency of the cancer cell. And in some cases, it will explode and then your
Yeah.
body absorbs it. And the thing is that I talked with somebody yesterday who has a Rife machine, one of the new ones, and he has
Yeah.
like 110,000 different frequencies for all kinds of different things, whether it's pancreatitis, it's skin cancer, glaucoma, all kinds of things, because all what we are is we are a frequency, we're vibration, we're information, we're energy. Every frequency carries information, just like an FM or AM radio signal. And
Yeah.
we're able to decode that, then we can go in there and we can actually put new information in there, just like with changing your beliefs. You change your belief, you change then your emotion, you change your emotion, you change your action, you change your action, you change your outcome. Well, in that same kind of a ladder, you can have that happen with physical dis-ease. And so the right frequencies are amazing because you don't even have to be present. Every single one of us is our own broadcaster and receiver. Okay, it's not just the pineal gland, it's every single cell in our organism broadcasts energy and it also receives input from the outside.
Wow.
And because of that, Stacey, your channel is very different than my channel. We're
Mhm.
both okay on the big scale of universe. We're all the same. We're all right. I am that I am. I'm all one. Yes, but just like Your eyeball cells have a different frequency as you say your ovarian cells. Well, we all have different frequencies. So certain companies, you can look this up, remote Rife therapy. They
Mhm.
can actually take pictures of your palms, take pictures of your feet, take pictures of your body, and they can tap into your frequency. So anywhere you are in the world, they can actually send those frequencies to you, and your radio receives them. Nobody else's because they're for you. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So the Rife frequencies, you also have ones with handles that sends the energy through your body, the frequency through your body. There's a lot of new expanding information. But honestly, the Rife frequencies, as great as they are, they're
Yeah.
not what actually reduced my tumor. They're
Mhm.
great and I feel wonderful on them, but they're not what actually did it. I'll get to that in a minute.
Okay. Wow. Now, when it comes to PEMF, what are some of the parameters, or can you explain to people what it is and why it's so meaningful?
Yeah, so PEMF or pulsed electromagnetic frequencies. You've got all kinds of different contraptions and different gizmos and gadgets where it sends this electromagnetic frequency through your body, very similar in a way to the right frequencies to
Mhm.
send electricity through your body to carry these certain frequencies for health, for vitality, for it could be for athletic performance, it could be for concentration. And so the PEMF, they're amazing. There's one called the AMP coil that I've big proponent of. Very powerful, very powerful. It's very expensive, but it's for people that want to basically, if you think of your cells as electrical, if you want to
Mhm.
balance the electricity in all of your cells and be able to program them with certain frequencies, activate your mitochondria that way, there are other ways through breath work that I teach as well. But if you want to do it that way, that the PEMF is a big very well, it's not necessarily fun. It can be very shocking. Like you grab onto an electric fence if you put it on the certain settings. It's
Yeah.
whew, it wakes you up for sure.
Yeah.
But it can be one of those things that can really have a great impact on your level of inflammation, on your immune function, on your energy levels, on your ability to heal faster. PMF is pretty amazing.
Wow. I know there's a lot of wonderful things going on right now about frequency that you're doing, and I know you wanted to share some of that stuff. I'd love to learn more about some of the surprises that you have in store.
Yeah. Oh, I tell you what. Okay. So, everybody out there, I'm going to say it once again. This Ascended Living program is the only place you're going to be able to find what I'm about to talk about next. Okay. And more and more. But this next thing, and you can scan this here, just click on it. You'll find out Ascended Living. Oh my God. I'm so happy and grateful to be able to bring this to the world because no one has ever done this before. And when it comes to healing, this is going to be straight up Star Trek. Like, "Meow, meow, you're good." It's like that. And
Wow.
so when I was diagnosed with my brain tumor on March 3rd, and the surgeon walked in and he said those words that you never want to hear anyone say to you, you have a brain tumor. Then he went in little bit farther and he said, and we can't get to it. And then he went farther and he said, Nate, this is on your brainstem in a place that it's pushing on your center for breathing.
Oh, wow.
So if this gets any bigger, it may stop your ability to breathe, which I thought was extremely ironic for a breathwork instructor and a master trainer to get a brain tumor on the brain stem where it pushes on my center for breathing. Come on, that's a cosmic joker if you ever there ever was one. But of course, there were other things, unresolved things. There's a reason why, and I've gone into the deep dive into the shadow side and the basis of where that came from that I created it for myself. It's a lesson, a blessing, or a blessing and a lesson. And it didn't take me very long, Stacey, before I just went, okay, how is this for me? All right.
Hmm.
I'm a problem solver. As a martial artist, I'm not going to wait to get hit in the face twice. And
Yeah.
when the doctor said to me, Nate, I think we should wait for about 6 months and do another MRI and see what it looks like, and we'll keep an eye on it. And I'm like, oh, no, 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 we're doing this now.
Yeah.
I'm doing something about this now. So that's when I started the diet where I lost 81 pounds, really sad, gained 15 pounds of muscle, put all my blood markers perfect.
Yeah.
And I know that in the 21st century, we have access to so many things that even 10 years ago we didn't have, but I didn't know exactly what. So educating myself is very important. And then I put up a GoFundMe campaign on Facebook and I started having people coming to support me on my journey. And then I got a call from a dear friend of mine named Tiffany. Tiffany
Hmm.
is one of my students from my previous business, dear soul sister of mine. And I didn't answer the phone because I was like, okay, I'll get back to her. And she called right back. And I was like, whoa, something's up. She wouldn't call me twice. So
Yeah.
I actually got off of a Zoom call and I answered the phone and I said, hey, Tiff, how's it going? And she just said three words. She's like, we got you. And I'm like,
Oh,
oh, thank you. And she's like, no, Nate, you don't understand. We got you. And I said, what do you mean? Then she told me, I work for a man named Ian Mitchell. He's one of the most brilliant biochemists in the world. We've been talking about your situation. I showed him, and we definitely have something for you. And I'm like, okay, what is this all about? And so I started learning more. Well, it turns out, and there are certain things, I'm just telling everybody out there, there are certain things that I am not allowed to say that are true. But because of three-letter agencies, I'm not able to say the truth of what's going on and what conditions, or this may or may not help.
right.
However, I could tell you my story. So I go to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I'm going to show you on the screen some of the stuff that we did. Now, here, and let's see if this will, yeah, perfect. So Ian Mitchell, this man is by far the most brilliant human I've ever met. He is not from this time. I think he's from like 500 years in the future, came back, delivered this to all of us.
Yeah.
So here on the top left, you can see him, normal,
Hmm.
average looking guy. But on the right, you'll see what's happening over here. And there's a certain type of stem cell treatment called V cells, very small embryonic like, so VSEL cells that are really the field of study of this is now huge and massive. And there are plenty of studies, peer-reviewed white papers on V cell therapy. In fact, a good friend of mine who developed the ability to activate these very small embryonic-like cells in our blood, not
Yeah.
I, but another friend, he was nominated for the Nobel Prize in Medicine last year for his work with these.
Right.
Now, why that's really important is Ian has taken that research and that work and gone light years beyond it. So it's a simple process.
Hmm.
For those people that have undergone, say, like me, spinal taps or MRIs, or the people in the cancer battle that are doing chemo, they're doing radiation, they're losing their hair, they're throwing up incessantly, they're losing 50 pounds, or they're putting on so much water weight that they look like a balloon.
Yeah.
This will be interesting for you. Whether or not this can help you, I'm not sure, but I'm open to that conversation. So for me, what they did is they took out some blood, just a normal blood draw. But
Right.
then Ian uses a very special laser that has multiple laser frequencies. He's the only one in the world that does this, where it
Yeah.
activates more than one kind of these V cells in your blood. So it's
Hmm.
not one, it's four. So instead of like on a piano playing one note, you're playing a chord. He's the only one that plays a chord. And he plays a full-on piano sonata. So take the blood out, spin it, activate it. Then over here on the bottom left, you can see I'm sitting inside a electrical contraption that is two Tesla coils and Lachowski coils that send 14 million volts of electricity through your body. It doesn't hurt, you don't feel
Right.
it, but what it does is it amplifies the electricity in every one of your 37 to 50 trillion cells. Then he puts these blood cells back in you and he uses his laser, these specific lasers, which is in the middle, to draw these V cells to where they need to go. And
Mhm.
it concentrates the stem cells where they're needed. Now, not only that, but it is amazing the amount of chi, of energy that this human produces. I have trained with some of the greatest chi masters in the world in the past that have lived in the past 80 years.
Yeah.
Then there's this guy that you can feel it. It's like somebody, bang, puts their hand right on you. For me, being so sensitive, having trained in how to see without my eyes for decades, it
Yeah.
feels almost like somebody put a curling iron on me, but not painful,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
super hot wherever, and his hands are 2 feet away. It's amazing. So it's not just the combination of the blood and the laser and these things, which are by themselves a unicorn, but it's
Yeah.
also the attention and the love that he pours into the people that he works with. And
Hmm.
so in a 4.5 or 5 week span in between my MRI and when I had a PET scan, the tumor went from 22 millimeters to 10 millimeters. I was still doing all the biohacking, the nutrition, the diet, supplementation, frequency medicines that from March 3rd, when I had my first MRI, and when I had my second MRI at the end of June, had just barely moved the needle on the size of the tumor because my
Wow.
tumor is rock solid. It's like it's not one of those jello ones
Yeah.
that can just be absorbed. This is like dropping a marble into pudding because that's
Yeah.
the consistency of our brain. So
Yeah.
just like a rock in a river, it takes a while to erode the rock. So to have a 50% reduction in size in a month, that is incredible. And I do credit that to my treatment with iron. And another thing is my girlfriend, she suffered and she was on last 2 episodes ago with the center point reset. Jemiah, for the people out there that remember Jemiah in her center
Yeah.
point reset, she was in a horrendous bicycle crash in Amsterdam 5 years ago, and it left her with a severe traumatic brain injury and brain damage. And when she got here to Utah, where she's at with me right at the moment, she said her brain felt like 50 to 55% of her normal function after a
Mm.
brain. And even after 5 years of therapies and all kinds of naturopathic and homeopathic and all kinds of different things to help this, she still
Yeah.
felt she was only half here.
Yeah.
After she had this treatment with me the day, like an hour after mine.
Yeah.
And about a month later, she was at like, I'm at like 75%. This is amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, yesterday, and it's been 9 weeks, and she's like, I'm at like 95 to 98% my full capacity. I didn't know I could ever feel like this again. Now,
Yeah.
there are so many testimonials that this is that people have benefited from this. We can't
Yeah.
claim anything medically, of course, and we don't
Right.
because there's nothing that works for everybody. I mean, straight
And
up, the only things that are really constant are like gravity is one. That's gravity, magnetism, those things that
yeah.
are parts of the universe.
Right.
But when it comes down to true well-being,
Yeah.
taking what iron does and balancing the body so that it can truly heal itself,
Yeah.
if that's your karma, if that's the path that you're on,
Yeah.
healing doesn't always mean curing. I'm going to put that out there because that's the truth. But
Yeah.
then my breath work, my meditation, the energy development. Also,
Right.
since I'm body code certified, I also help people really refine what their diet and what they need through the muscle testing. And I've been certified and worked with hundreds of people over the past, well, emotion code for 12 years, body code for 6,
Hmm.
and Jemiah's center point reset. We approach holistic healing and health and well-being this way from every single angle.
Yeah.
Physically with iron, physically with me, energetically on the cellular level with me, with iron, with the serums, but on the energetic and the spiritual levels with Jemiah and with myself and other things that we're doing. So we stop the scratch because where it came from, we don't want it to ever come back. We want people to be happy, healthy, live the longest lives they can, and not have to be coming back with a chronic condition.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be nice if you have diabetes
Yeah.
to actually reverse it and never have to go back to taking insulin or watching
Hmm.
your A1C or testing your blood sugar? And you're just like, yep, I'm good and I feel great. What would it be like if you didn't have so much extra body fat on yourself that your doctor's telling you, yeah, you've lessened your lifespan by 10 years?
Yeah.
For me, for me, it was like, wouldn't it be nice to live longer and just be alive? That's
Oh.
for me. And I'm like, yes, 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 and yes. So scan the code, Ascended Living, one-on-one with my team, and we'll see what we can do for you out there.
I love that. As you were saying that, I'm thinking of people like myself who have epilepsy. Wouldn't it be nice for all those people that are struggling and having seizures and that aren't controlled, to be able to, do something like this and actually not have seizures, and even people who, for me, I live a holistic life. I practice, I have my practices and then, I take medication also. So it's an integrated, way of living that has helped me and my seizures are controlled. But, wouldn't it be nice not to have to take so much medication or not, find a way to control your seizures, And there's so many people out there that are looking to control their seizures and they can't find a way, and something like this could be so beneficial.
And that's one thing I can say after taking some of the serums that IN produces, which as a biochemist, he's not a doctor, so he's not stuck in the same box that doctors are. He's a scientist, so he's all about exploration. What
Yeah.
he can do on a biochemical level with his serums that you drink them. When I drink one of his serums, it's called Neural, and it actually helps the nerves in your body function properly and grow new neurons.
Oh,
As
really?
I understand it, and I'm open to being wrong, but that's really what, when I take it, I can feel it's so trippy, Stacey. I can feel
Really?
in the back of my head, and I can feel, imagine like if you take baking soda and hydrogen peroxide together and it foams.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's like that in the back of my head where my tumor is. It's nuts. Like I take a teaspoon of it and I'm like, wow. Jemiah, she could feel it. She still feels it. Whenever she takes it, she can feel it going in and repairing whatever parts of the brain she needs to
Yeah,
work. And, honestly, just like, if you cut yourself, have you ever noticed that a few days later, it's like hurts more to touch,
yeah,
right? Than it did even when
yeah.
you got the cut.
Yeah,
So for sometimes there's a little bit of a period, maybe a couple hours that you're like, whoa, I feel like things aren't getting better. And then you're like, whoa, and it goes vertical and you're like, holy crap.
yeah,
I can't explain it because I'm not a biochemist.
yeah,
I can tell you this, they work. I'm living proof. I'm still
yeah.
alive proof that they really do work. And so if people have epilepsy or some kind of a neurological condition, please reach out to us. I make no promises, but I would love to see if we can do something. And when when we're able to tell you some of the te other testimonials, because we have more time, it's so inspiring to think that the 21st century is here and there are
Yeah.
so many therapies and frequency technologies and things that can help us that
Yes.
we just were never aware of before, and they hadn't been invented or discovered, and they're
Yeah.
coming. They're right here, and I trust in this so much that I'm putting my life on the line for this,
Yeah.
and it's working. It's working.
Yeah.
It's working. And it's evidenced by MRI proof that it's working. And so, and also how I feel. That's the
You look
most
like a
important.
different person from before and after. You look like a different person.
And I'll be truthfully honest, that that's what people can see on the outside, but they can also feel a difference as well.
Yes.
And this PPT treatment, sorry, PPT is Ian's patented treatment where he's able to activate the cells, do these things. Because of that, it actually increases the electricity in your cells. So people feel my energy different. They
Yeah.
feel they I mean, already people would feel me before I walked into the room because I've been building chi for the past 2.5 decades on a very regular, almost daily basis. But this just went, whoa, totally new level.
Yeah.
That's another thing with one of the serums. I take it just as an aside, and my hands heat up, kind of like Dragon Ball Z, and I'm like it like the amount of chi and energy. So even for people who are energy healers,
Yeah.
you take the elixir, it's called the elixir, and you might go, oh my God, wow. And
Yeah.
ability to help other people can be increased with these as well, not just the ability to help yourself. So overall, across the board, I am a 100% raving fan to the point where we've business partnered with him to create Ascended Living. And Ian is all disclosure, he's the chief scientist at Ascended Living. And there's a real good reason because what I do, it's unique. Nobody else does the integrated ascension method. It is totally by itself a unique thing. Doesn't mean it's
Right.
better or worse, but it's not like anything else. What
Yeah.
Jemiah does is totally unique. The center point reset,
Yeah.
first of all, it's fast, it's gentle, and it's really effective in a half hour or less usually. And
Hmm.
with what Ian is doing, it's a unicorn. So we have three unicorns all coming together, and it's to help. It really is to help people live.
100%. Yeah. And that's what we're here to do is to help people live and be able to enjoy their lives and feel good and not, have to suffer or drag their feet or be unhappy because they don't feel like the person that they want to be. So if you had to take today's conversation and you really want to emphasize on some important factors, what are some things you really want the listeners to remember from our conversation today?
I actually have a slide for this. Okay. As I share this, I'll share it briefly, not
Okay.
for not for too long. Sitting at dinner as Jemiah and I were masterminding ascended living and how we're going to bring this to the world, it came to me that you are the miracle you've been waiting for.
Yeah, I
Dr.
love
Joe,
that.
Dr. Joe Dispenza is a fan of a saying, not by him, but that's where I heard it first, is in the age of information, ignorance is a choice.
Yes.
Now, that said, we have so much information that it can seem overwhelming for us to actually know what to do. Or we try to do everything.
Yeah.
And let's say if you take vitamins and you take activated charcoal at the same time, activated charcoal is a binder. It's going to bind to those vitamins. It's going to make sure you don't get nearly as many. You need to know what you're doing. Having more
Yeah.
information is not necessarily a good thing. You have to have motivation to want to change, but then you have to have application of how you're going to do it in order to step into transformation. But for me, transformation isn't enough. If
Yes.
I sewed another arm on my forehead, I would have transformed. Ask
Yeah.
any one of our veterans who has come back from war missing limbs. They've transformed.
Yep.
It's not always a good thing. Brain tumor in my head, that's a transformation. Not always a good thing. I'm only interested in liberation, in the
Hmm.
freedom. So, how do we do that? Well, first of all, asking the right questions. That's what I recommend. Get the
Yeah.
information, yes, but having the right answer is smart, but having the right question is genius
Yes.
because that opens up the possibilities. So, if people are looking forward, looking for answers, one of the best ways that you can do that right off the bat is a body code session with me because we
Mhm.
can ask those right questions and your higher self, your subconscious, your subconscious, your cells themselves tell us the truth about what you actually need, where
Yes.
Your conscious mind, it hides so many things from us.
Yes.
Like the Wizard of Oz, we talked about this before we started the episode. The
Yeah.
body code, first of all, diagnostically, or not diagnostically, but I should say inquiringly,
Hmm.
helps us go down that yellow brick road of symptom and where does it come from? Takes the curtain, pulls it back so you can see the wizard. Once you
Yes.
do, then you can actually release it. And then you actually go back to Kansas instead of staying in Oz. That's what that can do. And you can find that over here, scan that, or go to my site, natez360.com. You'll be able to check it out there and schedule a one-on-one with me if you'd like. But the Ascended Living Program is really the coup de grace. That is the one that if you're going to do anything for your health, whether it's nutrition, supplementation, biohacking, this is not just for people with, say, a brain tumor or a serious condition. If you're a biohacker, if you're an athlete, if you are a soccer mom who just wants to feel better, if you're interested in longevity, the Ascended Living Program is really wow. It's going to be
Yeah.
right up your alley. And the best thing you can do, scan the code, go to the Ascended Living site, click on one-on-one session. Once you read through, answer the questions, get on with my team, and we'll see what we can do for you because this is not a program for everybody. It's not.
Hmm.
It's not. Some people are like, no, I don't want to invest in my health. No, I'm not ready for something like that. No, I don't want to go on a diet. And that's okay. Love you
Yeah.
anyway. But for the
Right.
people who are really ready to invest and willing to change and really want to become their best self on every single level, the Ascended Living is exactly what you need.
Yeah.
And there we have many different programs with different price ranges for people where they're at.
Yeah.
But first, you have to ask the right question. What is
Mhm.
Ascended Living? What is right for me? How can I get involved?
Right.
Answer those three questions and then just find out. That's the most important thing because information is useless without action. And
Yeah.
information can be really dangerous for your health if you just start combining things together. Don't mix ammonia and bleach, it creates mustard gas.
Yeah.
But people don't know that. So they combine
Hmm.
those things and they poison themselves.
Right.
It's important to know what. And so make sure that you're really asking yourself the question, how am I doing? How are we doing?
Yeah.
How really check in with yourself every single day, several times a day. Breathe, be present, be
Hmm.
here, be now, ask right questions, and enjoy your life. Because we
Yeah.
don't get a long time here. Trust me. It's a
Hmm.
it's shorter than you might think. So enjoy
Right.
every single second.
I love that. Now, before we go, can you tell everybody about the services that you provide and what you have to offer to people to help them?
Yeah, absolutely. So when people go to natez360.com, natez360.com, or scan this code, you're going to have the opportunity to click on the banner that pops up and open a new window for Ascended Living. You can read about that later, and I'll tell you about the offers. Then you'll also have a chance to learn a lot more about me. And with my memoir coming out, honestly, Stacey, this has been an adventure from near suicide when I was a
Mhm.
preteen to out-of-body experiences to near-death experience where I died and came back to life to pioneering the most powerful energy art I've ever encountered in the entire world, at least for those of us who can't go into a cave for 40 years,
Yeah.
to uh, traveling the world, learning from the greatest masters, to the brain tumor diagnosis, to reversing it. There are so many things in my life that will be the most kick-ass movie for anybody that wants to pick that up and write a screenplay. It's
Yeah.
definitely the Lord of the Rings time for sure that no one in history has ever done. Not even close, like on this level. And the thing is, it's going to be a really good read. So with the memoir coming out, that's going to be a really fascinating thing. And you'll be able to learn more about that on my digital site there. Now, people will be able to look at my other offerings, my online program, my app that you can get free shielding, free breathwork classes, free things for you that you could just have me on your phone. I don't have a phone. Here's my phone. You don't have to take one with you. You can see where I'm going to be teaching, where my speaking events are. But most importantly is look at ascended living, because in that program, we have offerings for like a private one-on-one body code session with me or a
Mhm.
one-on-one center point reset with Jemiah, which will change your life. Almost
Yeah.
guaranteed. I mean, can't 100% guarantee, but it
Hmm.
changes people's lives in like an hour or less. And it's like you're fundamentally different because your energy system is now balanced, aligned, and fundamentally different. It's really cool. But then we have our Ascension protocol where people can have a 8-week deep dive with both Jemiah and I with one-on-one sessions. Give them the chance to actually have hand holding going through these processes to release trapped emotions, balance the energy system, have check-ins, dietary and supplementation, pinpointing for you, so many
Mhm.
things. And that's right on the offers on the page. But then we also have the full Ascended Living program, which includes all of those things plus one of the PPT treatments with Ian Mitchell in Tulsa, Oklahoma, or if we have a group, he's willing to travel because he just wants to help people. And so we have it for every different range. We have payment options. The most important thing is that you invest time, you invest your money, you invest your heart into your health
Yeah.
because the people that don't make time for their health now will make time for their illness later,
Yep.
guaranteed. And
Hmm.
through the medical system, you can invest a fraction of what a stem cell treatment would be anywhere else for any other doctor for the
Yep.
entire program. It's literally, we charge a fraction of what other people charge for not even close to as much
Yeah.
because we're here to help. But
Hmm.
if you go into the medical system, a friend of mine, she's now in remission from stage 4 leukemia, 3 years
Wow.
of treatment. Her bill was $7.5 million.
Oh my goodness.
Just ask yourself. I mean, it's once again asking what is real. The American Cancer Society says that 1 in 2 men and 1 in 3 women will be diagnosed with cancer in the United States in their lifetime. That's about 200 million people. So
Crazy.
let me ask you a question. 200 people and 200 million people getting all these bills for multi-millions of dollars. Can our system possibly handle that monetarily or medically? No.
Right.
But what if you can invest a couple thousand and
Hmm.
actually have a really good chance of having the problem addressed and then go about your life?
Yeah.
It sounds like a good trade to me. And it's just people just have to take that first step and actually say, yes, I want to be proactive about my health. I like being on the planet. I don't feel as good as I would like to. And I really want to feel better than I ever have before. And if
Yeah.
that's you, scan it, go there one-on-one, take that action because life is meant for living. It's not
It
meant
is.
for suffering.
Right. Such so true. Now, do you have an idea of when your memoir will might be out?
I'm working on it. It's on my list of things to do today, 2 more
Okay.
chapters. And then it's going to go through the editing process, but I would imagine within the next month.
Okay. Wonderful. So we'll be mentioning that in the future. I'm excited for that. So
Yeah.
once again, just tell before we go, let everybody know your website address.
Yeah. So the best way to contact me is to scan the QR code on your phone, or if you don't and you're on desktop, just open a web browser and type in Nate, Nate, Z like Zulu or zebra,
Mhm.
360.com. So NateZ360.com. And that'll take you right there. I have many web pages, many testimonials, many success stories, many, uh, there's many blogs, all kinds of things, videos, inspiration, free trainings, app. I've been at this for a while, Stacey. So I would encourage people who are interested to go down the rabbit hole, starting with
Yeah.
Descended Living. That's going to inspire you, hopefully, to take action for your own health and longevity, well-being right now. Because
Love
that's
it.
all there is right now.
Yeah, it's so true. I love this. This has been amazing. This has been so powerful, Nate. I thank you so much for coming on the show today. And for everybody, remember, Nate has his own podcast, and all you have to do is type in his name, and his podcast should come up. All his episodes that he's done with us will pop up as well. You can find him on all the different social networks, all his stuff that he's taped with us, and you could also find him on all the audio channels that have podcasts like Spotify, Apple, and so forth. He's on all the channels. So look out for him. Listen to his episodes because they're all so meaningful and so powerful. And I thank you so much. You've done a miraculous job in helping people. And I just, think that there are more people like you, out there, and people like you, really people need to really stop and think how lucky we are to have people like you who are changing the world, changing people's health, changing people's lives, and really giving people the opportunity to be who they want to be, to release, all the things that are holding them back, like different illnesses, conditions, emotions, whatever the case may be, you're there, you can help them. So I really, encourage people to check out Nate, check out his website, scan his code. He is really an individual that you just be blown away by. He is just super powerful and his story alone should show you that, that there is always hope. No matter what we go through in life, there is always hope to a better life and a better way of living. So thank you so much, Nate, for being on the show. And, everybody, for our listeners, if this episode has helped you, please follow and subscribe to The Advisor with Stacey Chillemi. And Nate, thank you so much. From the bottom of my heart, you are so special, and I appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Love you, Stacey. Thank you so much.
I
And
love you.
everybody out there, have a great now on purpose.
Yes. Yes.